How Australia's economic sovereignty is under threat. Discover why Australia's economic sovereignty is under threat as BRICS nations reshape global trade. Introduction. Australia's economic sovereignty is facing unprecedented threats. Imagine waking up to news headlines stating that Australia's currency, the AUD, is no longer widely accepted in international markets. Suddenly, imported goods become scarce, prices skyrocket, and economic panic ensues. This hypothetical scenario might seem extreme, but as the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, challenge the dominance of the US-led financial system, Australia's economic sovereignty hangs in the balance. As global financial power shifts, safeguarding Australia's economic sovereignty will determine how resilient we remain in uncertain times. Understanding the current system. Australia's economic sovereignty. Australia benefits greatly from its monetary sovereignty, meaning it issues and controls its currency, the AUD. According to modern monetary theory, MMT, this allows the government to fund public spending without dependence on taxes or external borrowing. However, this advantage heavily relies on the global acceptance of the AUD, largely maintained through alignment with US-centric financial systems. Modern monetary theory, when paired with a strong democratic and anti-imperialist agenda, offers a transformative framework. It enables Australia to invest in public goods, support full employment, and fund public infrastructure while prioritising labour rights, decolonisation, and public ownership. These principles ensure that economic policy supports people and communities rather than private profits or foreign corporate interests. This is a foundational pillar of Australia's economic sovereignty. In public discussion, MMT is often misunderstood or conflated with other concepts like quantitative easing, QE. QE involves central banks purchasing assets to stimulate financial markets, often benefiting private banks. In contrast, MMT emphasizes using public money directly for public purpose, like health, housing, and infrastructure. This distinction matters. The US used QE to rescue financial institutions, and MMT approach would have used sovereign capacity to meet real social needs. Kelton, 2020. There's also widespread confusion around central bank independence. Institutions like the RBA and Treasury are legislative creations and ultimately accountable to Parliament. MMT makes clear that spending by currency-issuing governments comes first, with bond issuance and interest rate tools used post-spending to manage inflation and liquidity, not to fund operations. Mosler, 2019. Furthermore, Australia's continued reliance on resource exports and a weak manufacturing base has created a structural imbalance. A persistently low AUD may benefit exporters in the short term, but it reflects a deeper vulnerability. The country's overdependence on raw material exports limits domestic industry development and weakens its true economic sovereignty. Dennis, 2025. Role of the US in Australia's economy. The global economy currently revolves around the US dollar, USD. Australia's economic health is closely linked to USD dominance, including reliance on the SWIFT banking system, USD pricing of oil, and broad acceptance of AUD due to its connection to USD-based trading systems. This dependency creates vulnerabilities that directly impact Australia's economic sovereignty. BRICS and the shifting economic order. What is BRICS? BRICS, originally an economic bloc comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is expanding its influence by advocating for resource trading models and reducing reliance on USD. How BRICS challenges the US-led order. By promoting direct trade in local currencies or commodities, BRICS nations challenge the established global economic order that favors USD. This shift could significantly impact countries like Australia, traditionally aligned with the US. Potential impacts on Australia. Trade and currency challenges. If global acceptance of USD and AUD declines, Australia would need to rely more heavily on exporting tangible goods such as minerals, agriculture, and technology. Rejection of AUD could severely disrupt trade, with serious consequences for Australia's economic sovereignty. Case study: lithium exports and currency barriers. Melbourne-based lithium startup Brightvolt experienced firsthand the challenges of currency shifts. A promising export deal with India's Tata Motors stalled when export finance insurance excluded deals settled in rupees, highlighting Australia's vulnerability to shifting currency dynamics and potential job losses. Australia's BRICS strategy, opportunities and risks. Diversification of trade relationships. Australia must urgently diversify its trade relationships beyond traditional Western allies. This strategic shift could unlock opportunities in sectors where Australia holds competitive advantages, like critical minerals and renewable energy. Government's preparedness and response. Currently, the Australian government demonstrates limited proactive measures to address the emerging BRICS-induced economic realities, creating vulnerability and risking economic sovereignty. Solutions and recommendations. Strengthening Australia's economic resilience. Australia needs immediate steps to mitigate its dependency on US-centric financial systems, including establishing trade agreements independent of USD. A long-term strategy to enhance Australia's economic sovereignty should prioritise diversified trade, robust public investment, and industrial self-reliance. Strategic investment in key sectors. Investing in sectors like renewable energy, critical minerals, and agriculture can position Australia as a strong independent economic entity, less vulnerable to global financial shifts. Embracing economic partnerships with BRICS nations. Proactively engaging with BRICS nations can offer substantial economic benefits. Australia must carefully balance these relationships, managing risks and opportunities effectively. Reader question: how do you think Australia should navigate its economic future as the global order shifts away from US dominance toward BRICS-led trade? Conclusion: as BRICS nations reshape global economic dynamics, Australia's proactive strategies to maintain economic sovereignty become crucial. Protecting Australia's economic future requires immediate action and strategic foresight. Call to action. Curious what others think? Please read what our readers are saying on our reader testimonials page. If you found this article insightful, explore more on political reform and Australia's monetary sovereignty at Social Justice Australia. Share this article with your community to help drive the conversation toward a more just and equal society. Click on our reader feedback page. Please let us know how our content has inspired you. Submit your testimonial and help shape the conversation today. Additionally, leave a comment about this article below. If you value our work, please leave a quick Google review here and help others discover us. Support Social Justice Australia, help keep this platform running. Social Justice Australia is committed to delivering independent, in-depth analysis of critical issues affecting Australians. Unlike corporate-backed media, we rely on our readers to sustain this platform. If you find value in our content, consider making a small donation to help cover the costs of hosting, maintenance, and continued research. No matter how small, every contribution makes a real difference in keeping this site accessible and ad-free. Your support helps keep this website running without corporate influence. Fund research and publishing of articles that challenge the status quo. Expand awareness of policies that affect everyday Australians. A one-time or monthly donation ensures Social Justice Australia stays a strong, independent voice. Donate now. Thank you for being part of this movement for truth and justice.